All right. Well, after a little bit of camera issues, we got Cart, we got myself. We'll see if Dave comes. Dave gave the verbal commitment, but is not here. So, is there any chance he comes in the next half hour?
I bet he comes in like just when the conversation's getting hot, and then he shows up with just some bullshit.
Yeah. Cart, I wanted to start off this episode with a story, and I don't know if I've ever told this story. I know one part of this story I've never told anyone ever. I've kind of kept it hidden. I've kind of been a little bit of ashamed of um or maybe ashamed isn't the right word, but I felt kind of weird about a certain situation. Um so I'll bring it back to my sophomore year of high school. Challenge matches are a big thing in high school, whether you're challenging for a spot. I was getting good enough my ninth grade year into my 10th grade year where I had a shot at playing one singles. Our one at the time was a junior, going to be a senior, and I was going to be a sophomore. So a couple years younger than him. His peak was pretty high. Like he was pretty good. And mine was like steadily improving. And we just happened to cross like skill levels when I was a sophomore, he was a senior. Um, and so our coach, he was like, hey, we're going to have you guys play 6 challenge sets, and whoever wins the majority of the challenge sets will play one singles this year. And if you guys tie, we're going to give it to George. You know, he was then one singles player at the time. We're going to give it to him because he's the senior. I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. So we played 6 challenge sets, 6 days consecutive, I believe. And I believe it went like 6-0, 6-1, 6-2, 6-3, 6-4, 7-5, or something like that. It just got progressively closer, and I won all of them. I won 6 challenge sets. So I go in, I'm like, yeah, let's go. Like put in a bunch of time in the summer. I'm ready. I'm ready to play one singles. Just proved it, right? Just proved it um, with the agreed upon um, challenge matches. And we're on the bus trip to the first match. We have a triangular. It's in Menominee, Wisconsin, and coach he's like, hey Isaac, come up here. And I super respect this coach. Still one of my favorite coaches, but brings me up there with the other with the senior, and he's like, hey, like I've been doing a little bit more thinking. Like I don't think that it's respectful to George since he's been playing one singles over the last 2 years to downgrade him to 2 singles. So I'm gonna have you guys split. I was like, what the like what? You can't just like create the rules and then change the rules. So I was a sophomore, pretty emotional. So I just like go in the back of the bus and I just start like crying. I was like right before a match, like Buddy just like let me down so hard. So, anyways, the entire year goes by. We flip every other match. He plays one, I play one. He plays one, I play one. I would say our skill level is very, very close, right? I'm not saying I was way better than this guy, but like I did beat him in 6 challenge sets. So, one of the stipulations of that agreement that coach said was, hey, if we get 2 sections, which is our version of like regionals kind of, he was like, Isaac, you're going to get the higher seed if that happens. Out of respect, just to help kind of in the brackets so you don't have to play like a 1 seed or something like that. So we get to the final 4. Top 2 go to state. George and I are the 4 and 3 seed. And then there's 2 guys from Rochester, Mayo. One went to Brown. His name is Thomas Nath. He was a top 5, top 10 guy in state. And then this other guy, I can't remember his name now that I'm thinking of it, but he was there 2 singles. Solid player, steady. So I play that steady player, and we have a battle. I was so nervous, so nervous, and ended up losing. I believe it was a 3-setter. So I lose, and then George, my teammate, plays Thomas Nath, and I mean, he just got destroyed. Like we would have both gotten destroyed by Thomas Nath. So Thomas Nath wins, and there's something called true second. So now we have a weird kind of situation where George can play me to play for true second. Like he would play
Yep.
me if he would win, then he would play that other guy. I believe the guy's name was Eric, but he would play that
Yep.
other guy, and that match would go to state. But if he didn't beat me, then he wouldn't play that other guy to go to state. But I was
And you
already
would.
out. I was already out. No, because I lost to that guy, and then I lost to Thomas Nat. So I was 0-2. So this is where it gets a little bit difficult, like in the moment, because I've nothing to gain from the situation. So if your teammate has a chance to go to the state tournament and you have no chance, like what would you do? So that's my first question to you. What would you do in that situation? Would you put your ego aside and take the L, or do you play it out and like you beat your teammate?
Oh man, you have nothing to gain from it. I think
No,
I like.
besides beating your teammate, which is also a big deal, I believe.
Yeah,
And like
honestly,
telling you the full story, like you're battling all year, like I want to beat him. You know what I mean? Like this is an actual match. It's not practice. So yeah, so go
I
ahead.
think
So
I think my answer would depend on how that teammate treated me based off the situation that happened. If he
good.
was just like totally like cool with you, I would throw the match so he gets a chance personally.
Yeah. So and we got along great. He was a good teammate. And that's kind of what I did. I've never told anyone. I didn't even tell him. I didn't tell my coaches. I didn't tell my family. I told no one because I was embarrassed and I didn't want to take away like the win from him. You know what I mean? Like I didn't want
Yeah.
it to seem like I don't know. I was throwing a match. Like I didn't want it to seem that way. But like I had nothing to gain. Like my team had a chance to make state. I didn't. So I did. I think I lost in straight sets, made like 4-3. So secondary question, do you believe me that I threw that match? Knowing who I am and my competitiveness.
Yes.
You think I did?
Yeah, like I don't know. It seems rational. Like you have nothing to gain. The dude treated you well. Like you don't want him to feel bad. Like I don't think everyone would do that, but like if you cared about him a little bit, like I don't know.
Right.
Yeah,
So
I believe you.
so he ends up beating me and plays for a true
Did he
second.
win?
No, he did not. He did not win. So it was tough. And so so like the next day at school, you go to school and like everyone's always asking you because we missed school for those days, and they're like, "Oh, how'd you do? How'd you do?" And everyone kind of already knew like tennis was a big, part of my every day, and I really liked it. So they're asking, it's like, "Oh, it's so shameful." Just because
That
like,
you
"Oh,
that you
how'd you
lost to him?
yeah." And they're like, "Oh, who'd you play?" And then you're like, "Well, I played this person and this person, and I played my teammate." Like, "Oh, nice. Like, you play one, right?" Like, "Yeah, but I lost to him." But
Uh
yeah, I
yeah. I mean
found
it's one thing if he's like a dick, but like if he's not, yeah.
right. But yeah, I was thinking about that the other day. I was like, I got to bring that up. Do you have any stories or any challenge match situations from high school or college that you remember?
Oh man. Huh. I don't know if I have any like crazy challenge match stories. I remember when I was like a little kid, like seventh grader. Dave and I both played varsity in seventh grade, and the rest of the team was all seniors. And I remember I played this guy named Eric Moe, and like we had a good team that year. This was when Red River was like pretty good. I think at the time they had like, granted, some of the guys that ended up going D1, they were like eighth or ninth graders at the time, but they had like three guys in their team that ended up playing D1. So they're like solid. We were the second best team in the state. Our top guy was Davis's brother, and then the second guy was this guy named Eric Moe. And my second challenge match ever, like as a seventh grader, I had to play this Eric Moe dude, and he had a big kick serve, kind of like you did. And I remember I just had never seen a kick serve in my life before, other than like 12-year-olds that would like try to do like throw some weird spin on the ball, but it was like crap. And I remember like returning serves with like my racket like way above my head, trying to like get it back and like poking at it like this and just looking like an idiot. And this guy was just like throttling the seventh grader with no mercy. So I
And
remember that match.
you were pretty short when you were in seventh grade. Like, I mean, you were like what, six
I
one.
wasn't even 5. I'm tall now. I don't think I was 5 feet tall in 7th grade.
So
Yeah, I
that
was like really short.
so that kickser worked extra good against you in
Yeah.
that.
So I remember that. Other than that, I don't know if I have a ton of memorable ones. Like I played David a few times, and like we were just close friends. So he always beat me, but it'd always be like there'd be some sort of like drama, or he'd always pull away. I remember one time I think I won like the first 3 games or something, and then he ended up winning the rest of them. But like just the sheer frustration from knowing each other and like the tightness, uh, and just doing just like the dumbest shit on court. Um, what else? I don't know. Like dubs challenge matches sometimes. Um, Even at Concordia, like playing with like me, Dave, Eric, Jared, or even with you. I mean, just practice is like kind of fun sometimes, and it get a little bit contentious every now and then, but no like crazy stories.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of the challenge matches, and yeah, I think it's a legitimate way to put a little pressure before your season, create a high pressure situation, and try to replicate something that will happen, in the future. So I like them. Some people are very opposed to challenge matches where they find themselves entitled to a spot. It's like, nah, tennis is one of those sports where go play. Whoever is the
Yeah,
winner of your match, especially if you play 3 or 4 or 5 times, you're gonna see who's the better player. It's pretty easy.
yeah, that's the cool thing about like tennis and golf and like some individual sports. Like, there's no bullshit politics if you don't want there to be. You just like, you got uh, crazy mom in the corner, crazy dad in the corner that like wants to see young Billy succeed. But in tennis, like it's just like he's not good enough. He lost his challenge match. Sorry. Like it's just explainable. There should be no bullshit. And if you're a coach, like the best thing you can do is just have him play challenge matches, and then there's no BS.
Yeah, 100%. But yeah,
Yeah.
I
And
wanted
you
to.
don't get good. Like this goes into our like conversation last week about uh like being hitters and not players, like David said. Like I don't know. I think like when we were younger, we could have played way more challenge matches. Like we should have had them more in practice, like just simulate high pressure situations.
Yeah, I agree with that. Speaking of
Yeah.
high pressure situations, we um, we um, got the list of prize money. So athletes who have done really, really well in high pressure situations and won. Um, but yeah, I was kind of intrigued by this. Just the breakdown of prize money for the 2024 year. Yannick Sinner, and this does not include bonuses, which the ATP and WTA do at the end of the year. They calculate points that you won in your Grand Slams and your ATP 1000 events, and they come up with some bonus method. So they will also be getting a little bit of money through that. And I believe Yannick Sinner will be plus over $20 million. But seeing him
Jeez.
getting, $17 million in prize money is crazy. What
And
do you think about the spread here?
then you go down the lineup and you're like ranked 75th in the world, and I wonder what they're making. Like I don't know, a couple hundred grand, and then after expenses, what are you coming home with?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
Okay, so 50, and this is men and women, so
Yeah.
probably 25. It looks like a pretty almost even split, right?
Yeah. So this would probably be, the top 20. Yeah, I guess it would probably be the top 25 for both. It seems like it's pretty well balanced between men and female here. I mean, the top 10,
Yeah.
you have 5 females, 5 males, right? One, two,
Yep.
three, four, five. Yeah, yeah.
It's like
And yeah, that's a nice little spread. I was super surprised with seeing one Nicolas Jerry, 46. Like Nicolas Jerry is more or less a who. He's from Whoville.
did
How
he
did
just like go deep? Did he just go deep in the Aussie or the French or something?
I don't know. I don't even really remember him making any big runs. Do you remember hearing about Nicolas Jerry at all? I don't.
No, who the hell is that?
he's Chilean. He's a good player. He's solid, but like top
He's
50 in the
ranked.
prize money list with almost $2 million in prize money for your 2024 season. That's a good amount of money. 2 million bucks playing tennis. That's a lot of money.
So he's ranked 30th. Okay, so he made it to the final of Rome, ATP 1000. That's good money.
Yeah, that's probably
And then he made it to the quarters of Miami.
mm,
Miami's probably good money. He lost in the final of Buenos Aires, but that's a 250, so probably not a lot of money. And then, yeah, Aussie made it one round. Let's see if he made it through any made Roland Garros one round. Damn. No, he did not make it deep in anything other than just, yeah, Miami and Rome. I guess that's enough.
yeah. He's got a very unique style. Plays really well on clay, but I mean he is a who. He's a who, and he is from Whoville. So yeah, I don't know. It's just very surprising seeing some of these names on there. Um, Also with prize money, I want to pop up uh, the top 10 prize money of all time for the men and female. Who do you think who do you think are the top few for the females? Because I think the males are pretty obvious for who would be the top for them.
Yeah, I bet Sharapova's up there. I bet Serena's probably up there. Um,
Who do you think's number
is
one?
um like just prize money, no like endorsements, right?
Yeah, just prize money.
Just prize money. Um, I bet it's Serena.
Yeah, it's Serena by quite a bit.
I know Novak's won for the men. Oh, Venus is second. Wow, okay.
What is this? What is that?
Is that like one of those fat shirts that like makes you look skinnier?
I don't know, but yeah, $94 million from Serena. And last time you said that she didn't even play full schedules for the last 10 years of her career. She definitely could have made over
No,
a hundred.
I was gonna guess. Who is uh Justine Henin? Remember her? She won a couple
Mhm.
majors. Like I would have thought that she'd be up there, but that's probably too long ago, huh?
Yeah, I mean, most of these players, besides no, all of them, yeah, all of them
All of
are
them are
very
recent.
recent. Yeah, recent players.
Yeah. Huh.
Every single one of them, besides Serena, has played in the last year, right? Or I guess Sharapova too.
Yeah. And Venus is not really playing anymore, is she?
But she kind of played a couple random tournaments where she stole wild cards from other players. She was 43 and just stealing wild cards
Yeah. What
from.
about men? So the men, it's got to be Novak, Nadal's got to be two, then Fed, like obvious, and then after
Yeah,
that, of active players, like Murray's still active. No, Murray's not active. Um, but of active players, I bet Gasquet is up there just because he's been going for so long. Um, is
here it
Chilich still
is.
playing?
Oh wait,
I bet
bring it up.
Gasquet's up there. Chilich is up there. Sinner and Alcaraz are going to be up there.
Yeah, here's the men. Yeah, Murray. I don't think any of this surprised me really. I guess Nadal beating Federer, and I mean it's only by 4 million bucks, but that's a little bit surprising to me. I feel like Fed. Yeah, I mean I guess he has two more majors. That's probably what the money is right there.
Yeah, and Nadal was more. I mean, Nadal's career went longer, so I kind of assumed he would be over him.
Yeah,
Um,
some
Medvedev makes
older
sense.
names in here though. Andre
Yeah, wow.
Agassi, number 14. Stan the Man's
Sampras.
surprisingly way up there. Sampras is still way up there. I mean, obviously, adjusted for inflation, it'd be interesting to see, what Sampras and I mean all these guys, what their total would be.
Yeah.
Because you aren't really comparing like numbers when you're, 10, 20, 30 years difference.
I mean, it's crazy how far Alcaraz and Sinner are up as 20 and 21-year-olds or 20 and 22.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're gonna rout the top guys
Yeah.
easily.
Taylor Fritz is in the top 30 all time.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Edberg, that's an older dude. Yeah, all these guys are older dudes.
Yeah.
Gasco.
Yeah. And on that topic of prize money, Rafa Nadal hangs it up, officially retired after Davis Cup. That was his last hurrah. Part of me thinks that Rafa is gonna still come back. He said he retired, and I'm not saying he's not retired, but I think he's gonna play again. I just think that guy likes to compete too much, and he's gonna try to come back. He's gonna do an MJ where retires for a year, then comes back and plays a couple big tournaments, maybe the French or something like that. Do you think so, or do you think he's going to focus on his academy,
Uh,
his shitty golf swing?
I think he's done just because he was hurt for so long before he came back or tried to come back. And then losing in the first round of Roland Garros, that kind of sucked. If he had how Fed would play in Halle and always win that grass tournament.
Mm-hmm.
If I guess Nadal kind of won all the clay tournaments, but I could see him maybe coming back for something like that or playing some of the smaller non-points ones,
Mm-hmm.
just for fun, doing some dubs with Carlito.
Yeah.
I actually think he's done. Yeah.
Yeah. And he could very well be. I took a little shot at his golf swing. He's I believe a scratch golfer, good golfer. But
Really?
he only brings it back halfway and just kind of slaps it.
Yeah, he looks like a tennis player when he swings the golf club.
Quite literally. But he's
Yeah,
sick.
golf's right-handed too, because he's
Yeah.
actually right-handed. He
Right.
just learned to play tennis left-handed.
Yeah, isn't that crazy? That story where I think it was when he was 12 or 13 years old, his Uncle Tony, it's all right, Federer is a right-hander and super smooth. His backhand is definitely his weakness. And I believe that's why they switched him to lefty, to literally train him against Federer, because they knew this guy is just going to be insane for the next 20 years.
Really?
Did you know? Yeah, did you know that?
I didn't know it was because of Fed. I knew that he switched him to play left-handed, for a few reasons. Because Uncle Tony played
I'm
professionally too, right?
Yeah, I believe so. Was he a soccer player or something?
Fed was good at soccer, I know.
No, Tony. I believe I
Oh,
saw Rafa, being held as a little kid or something like that on a soccer field with with someone famous, on Barcelona.
huh.
But I could be wrong on that. Here, I'm gonna quick fact check myself. Yeah, I don't know. Had to do a little research beforehand, but this doesn't really matter that much, I don't think. Yeah, I don't know. Anything else new with you? Otherwise, we can cut her short.
Nah. Nah, not really. I don't have
One
much.
one
We
thing that
talked yesterday.
one thing I want to present to the audience here is David and I. We played a couple sets this summer. I was talking I was talking mad smack to him. I was like, hey, I'm gonna beat you 0-0. I'm gonna beat you 0-0. Then we went out and played. And I did. I beat him 0-0.
And
And
got it on
I
camera.
want on camera. I want to double down and do it again. And David after that was like, you wouldn't be able to do that again. I know. I like wasn't feeling good or something. I don't know what he said, but I want another stab. I want another stab at him. This time indoors. It's snowing outside right now. Super windy, 30-mile-an-hour winds. Winter has come. So, yeah. Thoughts on a redemption match? Do you think he would get a game?
I don't know. The last one looked pretty tough. I'll come up. I'll
Oh,
come and watch though. That's all I'll say.
sorry, cut out. I believe it's my Wi-Fi, but cut out right as you're responding. What did he say? Do you think it
I
would
said I'll
happen?
be there to I'll be there to watch. I don't know if the last one went pretty poorly, so
Yeah, but we'll end it there. Yeah. Thanks, Cart.